Hey everybody, it's Ryan. Welcome back to How Farms Work. Today I am standing in front of the building at Walker's. Now this building is one of the older buildings in the town of Potosi, and I'm not exactly sure when it was even built, but I saw an image a while back of this barn now and what it used to look like, and I'm pretty sure it's at least 70, 80 years old by now, and it used to be a house. So we're going to go inside it and we're going to poke around to see just to try to get an idea of what it used to look like on the inside. Over the years, it's been retrofitted and we've added a lean-to on the left side as well as extended the whole building outward with tin. So Mom painted it a few years ago red, which I think made it look better because it looked a little dreary without any color on it. But as you can tell, the building itself has one of those older style buildings, that older style building look. Kind of like what Travis's place does up on the hill over there. The original building, that is. His house was added on to over the years as well to make it bigger, because back in the day they made these houses really, really small. So we're gonna have a peek on the inside. This is the area where Travis, a few years ago, he was jumping over this, and I guess there was a nail sticking up down in here, and he landed on it, and it went right through his foot. So he had to go to the ER for that. That's one of those ER visits that Travis has gone and had. All right. So here's one of the front doors. Now this does have a wood floor in it still. It's buried beneath tons of dust, and hey, now what this building was used for at least probably 30-40 years ago, and probably, actually I don't exactly know when they stopped using it, but they used it to put small square bales in. And what they do is they'd stack it in here, both front and in the back where there are hay bales now, and they would toss the bales out here to be fed to the cows that used to be down in this pasture. So I tried to figure out where the stairs to the upstairs would have been, and looking around, I mean, there's a ladder there now, and I'm pretty sure that's just for when they were tossing small squares out. But looking at it, I want to say that the stairs used to be right there because of that board that's going across. It could have been used kind of like a support. And you can see how the holes for the second floor were for the supports on both sides. But those have all been torn out, and it was retrofitted to hold square bales. And I'm not exactly sure what it has been used for over the years, but this is a really old building, and to be perfectly honest, it's kind of incredible, and it kind of shows a testament to how sturdy the older buildings really used to be. Even like Travis's place and my place, they just don't make houses like that anymore. And they used a lot of oak boards back in the day, and they're pretty strong. And it's just kind of, I don't know, crazy to me that a lot of these buildings are still standing for even what this building's been through. Up on the lean-to over here, I'll show you. If I look around, you see all these little holes? Well, 4 or 5 years ago, I believe, there was a tree on the upper side of the hill that fell down during a storm, and it landed square on this lean-to. So we had to redo the lean-to. You can see that we doubled up some of the boards up there to support it, and the bolts are actually still pretty silver up there, so it's fairly recent. And the holes in the tin are where the tin used to be secured down to the old boards that were used as support. So now looking back on the inside, it kind of shocks me just how many windows there used to be in this building. Whether they were added on later, I don't really know. Again, I'm not totally sure what has happened to this building over the years. All I know is that it's reaching the end of its life, and it kind of has always fascinated me just how many windows there are in a building like this. Because, you know, back then they really didn't use insulation. They just kind of cut down whole tree logs, squared them up, and then filled them with cement to hold them in place and plaster. And that's what they used. So, I don't know. I just figured I'd make a small video on showing this because this older buildings always fascinate me, and I've seen a older painting of what we believe is this house back in the day. And that picture should be up right now if I can get a hold of it. I saw it a while back, and I wanted to throw that in here just to show you guys what this building used to look like back in its heyday, or what an artist drew it as. So, looks like over in this corner, right at the bottom of the stairs, or where I think the stairs would have been, the stove used to be here, which makes sense. I mean, the stove could have been over here, and here's the thing that really kind of makes me wonder. I'll go around the other side and show you. Underneath this fake brick siding, you can see the original siding of the house right here. Those are some old boards, folks. Here's the extension that was added. Who knows when. So now we're on the other side in the extension that was added. We got round bales in here right now. That's actually what I'm down here to get. Travis is on his way down with the Bobcat. I brought the bale carrier. We are moving these bales up to the hillside to get them out of here because we're going to use them. And I figured that I'd come in here and I'd document this building just because I know that it's not going to be around forever. And for me, documenting this stuff is kind of important because it not only shows our town, a part of our town's history, but it kind of shows how buildings used to be made back then. And it's just always kind of fascinated me. But in here, you can see that there used to be, what looks like there used to be, an addition on the side. And I don't know whether it was used for a garage or another part of the house or what. I was not around back then, but it looks to me like it might have been a garage. However, that stovepipe right there kind of makes me wonder what it was used for. I don't really know. But I figured that I'd show you guys just a little bit into the building itself, talk a little bit about what we've used it for. And I mean, we're not going to tear a building like this down, but over the years, you know, they just start to go downhill. And I just thought it'd be a good idea to record it. So anyway, once Travis gets down here, I'm gonna move the bales up to the top of the hill, and then he's gonna load it up with fodder bales, and I'm gonna take a load out to my place, drop the bale carrier off out there, and then I'm gonna go back to Rockville. So anyway, thank y'all for watching. Bales, the elevator was stuck in through that little trap door up there, and the bales were dropped in through that hole. That way, it was easier to fill the barn up to the roof to get the most amount of bales in the barn. So here comes Travis. How could I forget the root cellar? So, coming back in here, hopefully there's no coon or anything back in here. So, riddling southwestern Wisconsin's hillsides are things we call root cellars. And back in the day, they used root cellars to store any of their food, and it was a way for them to keep their food cooler, since being back then that they didn't have refrigerators. So, there's actually this one, which if you can find a house foundation just about anywhere in this town, there is bound to be a root cellar nearby. This area is just riddled with them. There's one over on the hillside underneath Travis's house. There used to be a house in the corner down there. The foundation is still there. And over on the hill, just down the road, turning down Hippie Hollow, there's one down there as well. And if you drive down Hippie Hollow, you can look back in the cliff on the right side, and there is a square cut into the hillside of where there used to be a root cellar as well. So I don't know if anybody has ever gone geocaching. Southwestern Wisconsin is a really good place to go geocaching because there are geocaches hidden in places like this. If you can find one that's not on private property. But I know that there is a geocache down here just down the road, and the wort cellar is like right up next to the road, and you can walk right into it. So, pretty cool. Just figured I'd add this because this used to be a part of the building that used to be down at Walker's. I think we call it Walker's because that's who my grandpa bought it from. Not totally sure. I mean, I could ask Dad, but making this video short term because I am all up to date on videos, but I got to make them as I release them now because I don't have them backed up, so I don't really have that much time to go and up to Dad and be like, hey, do you know why we call this place Walker's? So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully we can get up Travis's driveway over there without spinning out. Back in 2008, during the flood, there used to be kind of like a small utility garage type building on the corner there, but that kind of got swept away. We had to clean it up after it flooded. Quite a big drop off on each side. Four-wheel drive tractors are great. We got a full load of corn fodder. Now I'm going to take this out to my place, unhook it, and head back to Rockville. People sometimes ask me why we don't stick with the old 30 and 40 series John Deere tractors. You know, why we need these new tractors like the 7000 series. And my reasoning is this. I've gone down this hill in the dead of winter when this driveway is patched just with ice. And I have to say, it's not very fun sliding down this hill with a full load of bales in the back, knowing that at the end of the driveway, these bales could very easily push you onto the highway. So, I don't know. For me, it's having a four-wheel drive tractor that you can do things like this with is just a lot nicer, just for the peace of mind. Because, like right now, I'm not sliding. If there was a bit of ice, yeah, I'd be sliding a little bit with this, but I wouldn't be as worried. But if I had like the 4020 or another two-wheel drive tractor, I would be sweating a little bit. And I have to say that so far I'm not really worried much at all.